On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight, thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From brother Tad to sister Kate, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcia brings the heat, brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Thursday nights, the world will see Black Power media on the screen. Facebook, YouTube, all aligned, breaking free from everybody. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Ancestral line.
All viral.
Man, y'all make sure y'all share this video and make sure y'all subscribe to All Viral Access Media. You know the vibes.
They thought we forgot, but we never forget. This one's for the rules. We built this land from dust and tears, 400 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see. Every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, know the sky. The spirit's woke, we realize all we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fight. This is our day, this is our ride. We LBA. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been here all along. Foundational Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built that all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, to fight the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the stars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know what's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our pain turned to power. Our roots are trees. We know world. It's rhythm and grace now, and now we hear it we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free, foundational Black Americans. We the first, we the rule, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational, Black
Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister K Fighter, Brother Tad, Sister Marcia, and Brother Blacksmith, who is off on assignment this week. He'll be back with us shortly, family. He'll be back with us shortly. Welcome to the Brooklyn Bridge. Man, that song. Isn't that song just wow? Wow. And I got some good news about that song. Got some good news. Let me see if I can get my brother Tad up on the Brooklyn Bridge. OG Wisdom Finest. What's happening, brother? What's happening?
Hey, sis, how you feeling?
Man, like you say, it blessed and highly favored.
Word up. Nah, that song is fire. The video fire. I'm just sitting there looking like, wow, that really captured the essence of us. Even to the Cadillac. You know, Black men love our Cadillacs.
I know that's right.
That was my dream truck. I was fortunate enough to buy one. So
Wow.
I ain't driving that now, but you know, that was my
Right. I remember you did have one.
Yeah, I had a white Escalade.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Wow. It's good to be back, brother. Let's get some shout outs real quick while my sister Marcia, Sister Brooke, and Brother Devon get ready. Peace to Big Rush 409. What's happening, family? How are you? Sister Joyce, Brother Monty, Suffolk County. What's good, big bro, big sis? How y'all doing? Y'all better check out Better Days Ahead Fitness if you want to get right. If you want to get right, Brother Tad is available for hire. Let's make it happen, family. Let's make it happen.
Yes,
All you got to do, reach out to him on all your social media platforms, and he'll get right back at you. Ask Brother Divine. If you think I'm lying. Uncle Jess, Aunt Marie. Aunt Marie, I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. I'm glad you're feeling better. Unc had to take you to the doctor. Unc don't be playing about his wife. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. Sister Tanisha, what's happening? Welcome back on the Brooklyn Bridge. Farnessa. That's right. Peace and reparations. Farnessa be causing trouble over there on TikTok. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. She don't play no games. She don't give no breaks whatsoever. Brother Rich Nice. Callie in the building. What's happening? M. Hampton. Good evening to you. Welcome to the Brooklyn Bridge. Aruba 927. Doggy Diamond TV mods up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening, sis? What's happening? Glad that you back with us. Let's see. V4 Vengeance. Salute. FBA family on the bridge. What's happening? Man, I'm telling you. Sister Pat, Hotep, what's happening? How you doing? Brooklyn Finest in the building. Sister Marie, the Mars is in here heavy, y'all. So y'all better not be playing. The Mars is in here heavy. Don't play because they will put you in timeout. But we welcome all the trolls. We like y'all for real.
Very entertaining.
So speaking of that song, shout out to Brother Mike Larry, the producer of that. We had the pleasure of being on his platform last night, and I'm gonna tell you, it was exciting. So salute to him. And if you want to get the album, I'll put the link in the chat a little later. Because when you hear the other songs like Reparations, Take Your Ass Home, and Tether, man, I'm telling you, Tad, those are the titles of the songs.
Take your ass home.
I'm telling you. Speaking of taking your ass home, next week we're gonna be discussing people's FBA perspectives on the continent of Africa, suggested by my brother Tad over here. So we're gonna get into it. Welcome to all the new followers. All the new followers. We love you. We appreciate you for rocking out with us. That song has garnered us, along with our runnings, that is on TikTok, X, and other YouTube platforms. In the last 9 days, we have gained another 1,250 followers. So I appreciate each and every one of you. That's iconic. 1,250 followers in 9 days. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. So give yourselves a round of applause. You made it over here to the Brooklyn Bridge. That's right, Sister Marie. That's right. That's right. And brother gave me the exclusive. He said I could play anytime I want to on the platform. Plus, he sent me the album. Man, and the album was only $5.99. It's only $5.99. But them other songs too, those are my 3 right there. Take Your Ass Home, Reparations, and Tether. Those are my 3.
I can't wait to hear it.
Man,
and to the new subscribers, don't forget to like and share with other like-minded folks.
and don't forget to put in your search watch on YouTube, the OG Wisdom Podcast. My brother Tad and C Gutter, they go live every Sunday at 2 p.m. And it get real street over there.
Yeah.
So you might want to check them out every Sunday. And then once in a while, I'll do a pop-up over there as well. So,
right.
My brother from another mother, it's been going down. It's been going down in these social media spaces.
In and out. Y'all everywhere. Man, I'm so happy. I was listening last night. I was like, yeah. I'm like,
it's going crazy, bro.
I'm glad we're on the right side of history. Like I said, I had conversations with some of our Pan-African families, and somebody asked me a question. Said, why everybody going against Pan-Africanism? I said, yo, you got to ask yourself, who is it though? Former Pan-Africans. Everything, I tagged you in the post the other day from a post 6 years ago when we was talking about lineage, encouraging folks to check out your own lineage, find out who you really are and not what people say we are. Did you see that post, sis? Because people acting as if us claiming FBA is something new. I said, we've been on this type of time. Y'all just wasn't paying attention. That's why I don't post no more information for certain people and education, because our folks, they're not serious. I've learned that years ago. And this is why so many people are moving away from those thoughts and ideas, because it's not moving us together as a people. But now, here's FBA. We're doing what historically we've always done, taking a fight where it needs to be. In the halls of Congress, getting legislation passed. Everybody else just, I don't know, sis. They're just playing. They're just playing with it. And we don't have to.
Caught in the trap. They can't get out. They stuck. That's that cultism I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Oh, there's the post right there.
Shout out to Brother Ray and the BK Mackey History Club. You can catch his replays on our Facebook page as well. So go ahead, Brother Tad. Reread the post and we'll discuss it a little bit. Go ahead.
In the post from 2019, I wrote, I encourage folks to do their family genealogy. Learn who you really are. Speak to your living elders and learn your family history. The Schomburg in Harlem has tons of resources like birth and marriage certificates in their data banks. Let's stop spreading falsehoods and antiquated information about who we really are. As much as I joke, I do have indigenous blood as well as African. I have proof and documentation. As Black people, we were already all over the world prior to our enslavement. In the spirit of Black Solidarity Day, we should put our ideological differences to the side and really discuss practical, effective solutions that we can all agree on to solve our racial and economic problems that we face as a group. Happy Black Solidarity Day. That was on Black Solidarity Day of 2019. But remember, I got most of the information back in 2015. So we've been on this type of time for at least 10 years. And this is during our Pan-African days when we were going hard.
So, for some people who say, well, y'all just following trends, or no, you ain't catch up yet. You still caught in the time warp, and it's crazy because, coming from the Pan-African movement, I saw way early, like 2015, how even before that, but you try to give your people the benefit of the doubt that, shit was stagnant, ineffective, and nobody from the diaspora supported what we was doing. Nobody. And I'm not talking one or two people. I'm talking about as a whole. It has not been effective. And then I realized that we as Black Americans always did the bulk of the work while everybody else reaped the benefits. And so, like I said in that, I think it was last week or the week before, when I showed an article about automatics from November of 2016, when he said Black people have to redefine themselves in order to get reparations. So that struck something in me. Wow, we really got to redefine ourselves because how we're moving is just not working. I also saw a bunch of idol worshiping. Now, Brother Tad and myself, we come from a Christian family background where we were told idol worshiping is against God. You should not be idol worshiping. And I saw that a lot. In particular, when I took over as the MC for UAM. And I say this all the time, I would say something to a lot of the members and they would get upset or brush it off. But Alton would come back right behind me and say the exact same thing. And then they would fall in line. So I'm like, this is idol worshiping here. I'm not with the shits at all. And so, like you said, back then, we saw the BS for what it is. Like, it's not movement at all. And so how can you be a movement when you're stagnant? Everything that you're talking about, everything that you're doing, everything that you're referencing, is antiquated and ineffective in the times that we're living in. I saw people who wanted to be dictators, and I am nobody's subject. My parents have transitioned. I am nobody's subject. And some of my family members is in the chat, and they will tell you I'm nobody's subject. So that rubbed me the wrong way. And then you saw people, as Sister Aruba 927 so eloquently put it, people recycling words. Like Dr. So-and-so said this, and so-and-so said that. And as you always used to say, what do you say?
Yep.
Dad used to always say, what do you say? And nobody could give you a goddamn answer. The simplest question that he's asking you, what do you say? What do you think? And it became a problem. Yeah. A problem. And so, God and the ancestors have a way of putting you in position and making you see things that you may think is difficult, but it was right on time for you, right? Because even in our stubbornness, like you said, we want to see our people win and we want to see them do well. However, they just couldn't get it together. And they still can't get it together. I mean, some of the information that they put out is problematic. We living in a world, AI world, number one. Two, Elon Musk is about to be the first trillionaire, and y'all still talking about dumb shit. Like, stop it.
That don't move us forward.
Another thing you said too, Tad, when you talked about when Dr. Ben transitioned, and you know that movement didn't have a place to bury him or to hold his services. Go ahead, I'll let you tell a story. Go ahead.
Yeah, Reverend Calvin Butts bust the shot because Dr. Ben's funeral was at Riverside Church. And he says something, and I don't think people paid attention, but of course the group never pays attention. It's all group thing. He said, here lies a man that spent half of his life trying to debunk Christianity, but where do y'all have to have his funeral? At a church. Where is our sacred spaces? I've sat with so many leaders, and I'll say this again. I've met so many well-intentioned, good-spirited, good-hearted people in the movement. And I would be lying if I said I didn't. Some beautiful people, hearts in the right place. A lot of people, hearts and minds are in the right place. But then you got this cult following. You have this cult following that's unbelievable. And people don't move until they're told to move. And the quote unquote leaders, many of them, not all, are egomaniacs. And the ones in the movement that should get all the attention don't get the light of day. There's people who spent their life's work, decades, been doing this before many of us were even born. Still with the pedal to the floor, moving forward, but they're up there in age. They don't have young people to pick up the slack and get them acclimated to this new world of a digital space, learn how to use AI to just get the word out there. You know, look at that dope video, you know, the brother Mike created. You know, a lot of people in the movement need that. But what folks are doing is getting people to revisit history of a time that's never coming back. We'll never live in them ancient times. And one thing I've learned in the movement, sis, is that the people of the past have always talked about a brighter future and prepared the people for a brighter future. The people here in this future keep moonwalking their ass back to the past, want to go back 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years ago. And it's not serving anybody. But then we get upset when we see migrants hop the gate and get what they want. When we see alphabet folks sashay in City Hall and get what they want. And here we are still beating drums singing "We Shall Overcome." See, that's cultural and that's cool. It got its place. But when we talking about a position on the world stage, you got to be strategic. You can't just keep giving it to Obatala and Oshun and I'm not knocking it. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. But there's a time and a place for all that. What did Malcolm say in the message to the grassroots? Keep your religion between you and your God. Put that in the closet. Because when it's time to come out here and do the work, that's all that matters. But folks don't want that. You might got on the wrong dashiki. And they like, nah, brother. You just frivolous dumbness, man. And I ain't with it. I'm telling you, and I'm going to pass the mic after this. I remember when I was in Africa. And God bless my elder, Mama Ali. We were going to see the chief. She said, you can't wear that hat when you go see the chief. I said, why not? I said, this is who I am. I get it. I'm in Ghana. I'm in Africa. I'm going to see the chief. Well, we reps this here. This is who I am. I'll pull up baby pictures of Tad wearing the hat. I might have had it on backwards. 4, 5, 6 years old. This is just who I am. And I'm not going to change who I am, the core and the soul and the spirit of who I am, to accommodate nobody. That's not who I am. But in the Pan-African movement, you got folks cosplaying continental Africans. Real quick, and I'm gonna stop right here, Sister Keisha. You remember in Coming to America, right? Remember how Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall was dressed? Prince Hakeem and Simi was looking to try to fit in to New York. They had on all these New York regalia, the hat, the jacket. That's what we look like when we go to the continent. We throw on unks, we throw on Giannis, we throw on kufis and the dashiki and the kente. And we look like how they looked in Coming to America, but vice versa. Like a hodgepodge of somebody trying to be down. And we really don't get that. But I'm going to stop right there.
Woo! That's it. Bombs, bombs, bombs. Let me get my sister Marcia, Africans on the Rise, up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening, Sister Marcia?
Peace, everyone. Happy Blacktastic Thursday. It's good to be with family again. And yeah, Lady Mars on it, Brother Tad.
Now, I just got to tell the truth. I just got to tell the truth. You know,
sometimes you're afraid to hear the truth.
The last time I was in Ghana was 2019, and I only told small group of people. It's like, yo, when you going back to Africa? I said, I don't know. It's going to be a minute. But then, of course, COVID came, slowed it down, you know, and I had a good time in Africa. I had an experience. One of the things my elder asked me, because, you know, remember, I was going every year. And every year she say, why the people who came last year don't come back this year? And I said, because people don't want to pay all this money to be in poverty. Like, you paying thousands of dollars for an experience, and you pull up to these places, and it's not what you're accustomed to. And I get it; they're not as developed as we are. However, people pay good money. They want good experiences and good services, and that's just the fact of the matter. I'll be honest with you. One time I was at a hotel, Ocean View, Seaside, and all that. I got in the bed, and there was sand in the sheets. I'm like, what is this? Why is the bed dirty? Like,
don't tell it all, Tad. Don't tell it all. We're going to save it for next week. We're going to save it for next week.
And hopefully I could get some folks that went. I'm going to reach out to some people and see if they'll chime in.
Because, yeah, we got to get Sister Tam up here because I know she's been over there.
Oh, yeah. She went twice. Yeah. You know, it's and it's not the bash. It's not the bash the continent.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Even I was with a relative today, and we were talking about experiencing Haiti. She was like, "Yo, some of these things is not for me. I need my modern convenience. These are what makes me know." And I was like, "Yeah, I get it. Nobody's ready for that other life." That you're not accustomed to. You've been prepared. You've been living your whole life one particular way. To go into this and not have that familiarity is very hard. It's very hard adjustment.
And I don't like dirt. Let me tell you something. I maybe a little OCD, but I don't like dirt. You know,
you'll have a hard time in Haiti. A hard time in Haiti.
The only thing, my office is a little junky, but it's not dirty. It's junky because I got books all over the damn place. And I got papers on the floor. But I'm done that. I bet you can eat off this floor here. I don't play them kind of games. I don't do that. But, you know, we're going to save all of that for next week. Tonight, we're going to talk about these DNA tests. You know, this conversation was a segue into that. A lot of people have taken Ancestry DNA test, and you know they fall for it. They fall for the okie doke. They believe it. I heard one gentleman say, "How can I be from this place when that place didn't exist 100 years ago?"
Say that part again, because I think people miss that, sister. What I said years ago. People talk about they from here and there. We were emancipated before these countries were even named. You know what I'm saying? We were emancipated. We was emancipated in what, 1865, approximately. Started 1863 because, and that's another thing people miss. These dates are just agreed upon because remember, they didn't have telephones and internet. They had snail mail, they had Pony Express, so things took a while to get around and literally took years. They just get these dates and agree on them. That's why Juneteenth was so important because folks just didn't know. Like, yo, we just paid it years ago. Like, word? Was it months of years? But it was still long. Like, yo, we ain't heard that yet. Nobody told us. So we got to start revisiting things that we hold as true and we truly believe to be true. Because when a lot of these teachers were teaching in the 60s, in the 70s, you got to remember we just coming out of a segregated era when a lot of information wasn't as easily accessible to us. So any information that was given to us, we held it as if it was gold. But now we can literally take our devices and FaceTime somebody anywhere in the world and see what's really going on in real time and don't have to take secondhand information. We can go see so many things for ourselves if we really feel inclined to. We can literally do research. Sister Keisha supported my efforts when we were educating the children. We were taking them on trips around the country, DC, Baltimore, here in New York, everywhere. But we didn't get that full-on support that you would think we're supposed to get because the movement wasn't serious. They say they are, but they weren't. I was traveling to different states just to support people events because that's how serious and sincere we were. We were pulling up everywhere. But that's all it becomes after a while. It becomes almost like church. Just feel good moments.
That's it.
From Jesus said, Dr. Such and Such said. That's all it is.
And they're still not serious. And the only thing that they hold true is their good Bible. They don't hold anything true. When you try to tell them the truth, oh, please give me my good book. It has the only truth that I want to believe. You're just like, whatever, and
It's crazy.
You feel defeated in these processes, right? Because you're just like, if we would all just read one same book and have a conversation about this one same book, we would change everybody's mindset. But nobody wants to do these things. And I get it. You don't want to read. But now they give you audio books. You don't even have to read. You can just sit there and listen like a dun-dun if that's the way you want to. But you don't even want to do that much. Any modern convenience that is given to our people to facilitate things, they still don't want to take advantage of it. They still give the pushback and resistance about who they truly are. It's like, I don't want to know who I am.
The thing is, Sister Marcia, and that's changing. We live in a technological era, and like I said, we are the algorithm right now, and I proved it because, like I said, in 9 days, we garnered 1,200 followers in 9 days because we are the algorithm, and that's what I mean. People get caught up because you have to listen. You have to understand this. Sorry. New information is coming out every day, and it's right at your fingertips. And, it's sad almost, Tad, when I see some of these elders and elders who just refuse. And you're like, why you don't come out? I'm not listening to that shit. That shit is different. You just don't get it. But anyway, let's move on.
But you're right though, sis. I mean, and it's again, and I really got to say this because at the core we still love our folks. We still love Black people, regardless to where you're from. It's just folks are constantly missing the boat and the point. Like, as foundational Black Americans, we're not denying some of the master teachers' teachings. We're not denying that. We're not denying the value that was added by Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, Dr. Neely Fuller Jr., Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. Sashi Mack. We're not denying none of the contributions. What we are saying is this a new day and time, and we got to pick a new direction. That chasing that dog chasing his tail shit, it's not cutting it no more. The reason why I mentioned Africa, because as Pan-Africans, I thought the goal was to get back to Africa. And people keep talking about mentally and spiritually, but they haven't gone physically. But when you ask them mentally and spiritually, what are you talking about? They can't articulate it because it's just a feeling. It's just an idea, just a thought. It's nothing tangible. It's nothing realistic. Meanwhile, continentals are coming here, cosplaying us, and then reaping the benefits of our labor. This is why it's so important for delineation, because here, now that we're having serious conversations about reparations, they're trying to elbow their way in that conversation too. Have y'all noticed that a lot of new security guards are continental Africans? Have y'all
Yes.
I'm gonna tell
Yes.
you know when it really kicked me in the head? I went to the hip hop show, a couple of months back. That's when Jungle Brothers, EPMD, all of them was there and stuff like that. But the security didn't know who was who. You got mad people like, nah, that's Brother Tad. Let him through. Let him through. They're like, no, he need the wristband. The white guy's like, yo, we don't got no more wristbands though. Shout out to my man Mike Jones too, and that's what was killer, right? Right, Sister Keisha? The white folks was like, y'all go ahead, y'all go ahead. The dudes who collect the money and everything. The African security, they didn't even know who Ralph McDaniels was. And it's his party. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. They are securing the culture, but they don't know the culture. And they don't know who's who of the culture and in the culture. All they looking for is little wristbands. Come on, man.
They do as they told. That's it. Yeah. They have this color wristband, this color wristband. This is where they go. They're not about understanding what's happening on the ground, boots on the ground. They don't care about that. And those one of the reasons why, I would hope that these exploring groups will have conversations with people, but they don't want to. There's a huge resistance.
Yeah.
Well, let them stay over there because the world is moving and we don't care. I don't anyway. I'll tell you to your goddamn face. You doing dumb shit and we don't care. And either you're on code or you ain't. And right now you ain't. But anyway, it's funny you said that, Brother Tad. Let's listen to this comedian, Dion Cole, who is a legend. Let's hear what he has to say about Kai Cenat. Hold on.
This really big, I don't want to say motherfuckers' names, hired this really big streamer, right? The biggest streamer out there, right?
Oh, shit.
So they hired this person to come to the award shows and do vaccine shit, right?
Yes, that's all.
And this motherfucker was like, yo, like people was like, he was going up to people like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Wale.
Like, I don't know who that is. And his excuse was, don't blame me because I'm young.
Right.
And that was so disrespectful to me because
Wale took it personal. You seen that? Wale went to African dance.
Look, I was backstage and I met dude one time backstage, and he walked backstage and I was like, hey, what's up, man? He was like this. And he walked off and he was with I like that dude, the blonde hair. Drewski, he was with Drewski. Yeah, and Drewski looked at me and was like this. What's up, OG? How you doing, man? I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I love everything you do. Then he went to him and was like, man, you know OG, you funny as hell, And he was like this. And just walked off and shit. And I was like this. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. If you don't know who I am, it's all good, right? But when you go on the record and say, when they trying to go this baby face, and this is this person and that person.
On the red carpet with baby face?
You're like, but they asked him, and he was like this. I don't know these people. I'm young. Don't blame me because I'm young. That was terrible to do. And to hire him to be your representation at an award show that you got icons and you got younger people, I think it's like disrespectful. And that's, I'm not trying to beef and shit. I'm just going, if you're going to be in that position, do your research about when you see icons and give them love when you see them, period. That's all I'm saying.
And look, I never saw this clip a day in my life. And see, this is the thing. A lot of these people, the young and foreign young people, are so self-absorbed. They don't even they don't even have the wherewithal to literally learn the culture. They think they're the culture. That's why they'll say hip hop is a Jamaican thing, and islanders make hip hop flavorful and all kind of foolishness, because youth has nothing to do with it. Shoot, let me tell you, I was at the Essence Music Festival backstage, sitting next to what's open, Stedman. Stedman was sitting right here on the left of me, and Patti LaBelle was sitting right there. This is more than 10 years ago, so I was a lot younger, but I knew who they were because I know the culture. This is my culture. Tell me what song Stedman sings, what album he got out, what movie he starred in, but he's part of the culture because he's in a partnership with Oprah Winfrey. How do I don't watch Oprah, but this is my culture. How is it my culture? Because this is who influenced my mother and my grandmother. They used to watch Oprah back in the days. You know what I'm saying? So these young dudes, and I won't even put it on the youth. I'll put it that people come here and they have no connection to the culture. They only look to exploit it. And since they look like us and we got this Pan-African idea that all of us are one, they said this is easy entry. Nobody's gatekeeping this culture right here. But you can't go to the continent and do that. You better know who's who and what's what. You better know how to address people in the culture. Like I know in Nigeria, when you greet an elder, you're supposed to touch the floor. Keep your head down. Don't look them directly in the eye, because that's challenging to them. That's their culture. That's not ours, but that's theirs. And you just acknowledge the culture as a form of respect to people. And this is why it's so important that we gatekeep our culture. Because what? He don't got no TV. He didn't watch Deion Cole on Blackish. He didn't watch BET. You see all them stand-up specials with Deion Cole when he was working his way up the ladder? Come on, man. There's no excuse. And I'm tired of people in their excuses trying to be in our space, but don't study what it takes to be successful in our space. And that's because our open enemy is opening the gate for them. Like, you look close enough, come on in. Come on in. Because you got to get a push through from somebody. Because FBA, we ain't, we old school like grandma. Who's your peoples? Where you from? Who your peoples? That's what grandma always asks. Any friend, any girl that came to the house, any girl house I went to.
Who your peoples?
Before I take out on a date, who your people? Where your family from?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You do a background check.
It's crazy. Shout out to Brother Leonard, Harlem Finest in the building. What's happening? What's happening, bro? Yeah. Let's get our sister Brooke and Brother Divine in here. Because we got to. Sorry, Ted, go ahead.
No, I was just shouting out Brother Divine, but I didn't know he's backstage. I see him in the comment. Definitely always love to our brother.
Yeah, we're going to give him a few minutes, but I know Sister Brooke is ready. So let's get our sister up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Our reparations
Queen.
Now is here in New York to the Brooklyn Bridge. She been lighting up TikTok, lighting up YouTube, lighting up X. It's up, it's up, it's up. What's happening, Sister Brooke? How are you?
Hello. Hi. Hi.
What up, sis?
Hi, Sister Marcia. How you doing? Hi, Brother Tad. Hi, Sister Keisha. Yo, thank you so much. It's been a very humbling week. It's not over yet. And it's like I'm booked and busy. and yeah, and as long as I get to pump my that's all it's about. I'm accepting everything.
Action. That's right.
As long as I pump my call to actions, let's get it. Hi.
Speaking of which, I see them emails going up. They're coming up because I be in there every morning.
Million, right? I said that on Afro Elite show, right? My goal is 50 million. You know what I'm saying? Help me get to my goal. You know what I mean?
That's right. We got to do it. We going to do it. We going to do it. Because I'm in there every morning. Every morning, so I can see the numbers. Because I do it every day. I don't give a damn. Let's get our brother Divine, U.S. Freedmen Project President, up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening, brother? How are you?
Brother Divine.
Brother Tad, man, we missed you. What's good, fam?
Ain't nothing, taking it like breathing easy. Now I was doing some OG wisdom work last week, you know what I'm saying? But yo, I've been checking y'all out, man. I'm always on the move. So I just throw y'all on YouTube when y'all be on y'all lives and everything. I'll be like, look at the family go. Look at the family throwing them up. Boom, boom, boom. Laying it out. But you know what? It feels good, right, Brother Divine? And it's so necessary because like I was saying earlier, you know, being in the Pan-African movement, you know, you come with the spirit of wanting to do things for our people. But there was no real motion, and no matter what we organized to do, no matter what our efforts were, no matter what we did to bring awareness to a particular issue, yeah, everybody rah shish boom ba, but when it's time for the bodies to show up, nobody really pulling up or even really sharing like that, because you always got naysayers, and folks are fickle. Folks are fickle. You know what I'm saying? Me and Sister Keisha done some dope things in this movement. People can front all they want. We did some powerful things. I'm talking about we was in the news, pulling up the churches. You know what I'm saying?
Music videos, all kind of stuff.
Community events. Like, yo, we was everywhere. We was all over. But the proper support wasn't there. And now that we're delineating, now that we're on our FBA type time, our folks all around the country are pulling up and pulling together. And I'm just sitting back enjoying the show. You know what I mean? And this is dope. And this is your efforts, Brother Divine, Sister Brooke, you know, because me, Sister Keisha, Sister Marcia, we've been doing this work for years, man. But that was for the other side. And we're not going to stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be 80-something years old, still bringing awareness, still doing something in the space to move the needle forward.
But he won't be wearing no damn dashikis, I'll tell you that much.
Yo, hold up. Time. Real quick, Sister Keisha. Sorry, part. Yo, so I put away the summer clothes, right? Pulling out winter clothes, man. I got a huge bag of dashikis. I'm like, damn. I got whole African fly suits. Yo, Brother Divine, I used to crush it, so I ain't gonna hold you. I just throw in the dashiki, my fitted, and my Timbs, and be out there high stepping and hotepping. You know what I'm saying? Had my my little African mask, all that. I was on it, but you know what? I was still authentically me, and I think that's the key component that be missing with a lot of people. They forget to be who they are. When I was Pan-African, my name was still Tad. That was it. My name wasn't Obabakari, nothing. My name wasn't Tepin Rod. Nah, my name was Brother Tad. That's it. I'm not taking on the identity that ain't mine. That name Tad is what my family gave me. That ain't my government name, but that's the nickname my family gave me. And I rock that with respect, and I hold it near and dear. When I was young, I wanted to change my name. I was going to get an African name, but then I remember I read something about Shakespeare in one of his plays. You know, I think it was Romeo and Juliet. And he was talking about a rose by any name is just as sweet. So why should I shake the name, my family name, the name my family gave me, to facilitate what? To accommodate who? So I was off that type of time. So that's funny, Sister Keisha brought up the dashikis, because I got tons of them. I'm like, am I going to give them away or am I going to sell them? Because a lot of them crispy, I ain't even put on yet. So we'll see. Just look for me on Facebook Market. You might get you a nice.
There you go. Sell it back to the continent.
Word up.
You sell it back over there. They can have it back.
And a lot of them from the continent. They is official tissue.
Yeah, you just said something, Brother Tad, that kind of well, first and foremost, I want to say I appreciate that's all honors. I want to make sure I shout out you, Sister Marcia, Sister Keisha. Anything that we are looking to build is, we can't call it building per se by itself. We have to call it building upon, because it's building upon the foundation that you guys have already laid. So anything that we're doing is an extension of what y'all have done, because it's not happening in a vacuum, right? So even the foundation that you laid when you're talking about, you know, high stepping and hotepping and putting the consciousness before the cookie, understand that still is the foundation of what we're doing. Because to be perfectly honest, a lot of times, and this is no shade to anything that y'all was doing, but sometimes you gotta view how somebody is doing something wrong, so you can know how to do something right. And so seeing how you guys have poured your blood, sweat, and tears into an ideology, something I call a religion of Pan-Africanism, and seeing how it came up short for us, now we know that we don't gotta go down that lane, right? Like I said last night on the other show, quoting my man Hove, we know he's problematic, but Hove did that. So hopefully
Right.
we wouldn't have to go through that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all did it, we don't gotta do it. And y'all still here to to impart that knowledge and that experience. And so just on that, to close this loop, I myself, maybe a couple years ago, I bought a black and gold dashiki. Same thing. Hooked it up, had the black and gold hat and all that other stuff. And I've never won it again and probably never will. But when you said that, here's something I thought about, and you guys can give your thoughts on it. When you really, really think about it and break it down, what you said kind of being just remaining Brother Tad, Pan-Africanism really boils down to Black Americans' interpretation of what it means to be African. Because you cannot find Pan-Africanism in the way that we implement it, build, and view us all the same based on melanin on the continent or anywhere else. They do not subscribe to that ideology. That's why they need us so bad. That's why they can't just listen. If you was really about unity, you got 1 billion plus. I don't know the numbers, but you got more than 1 billion people on the continent. At most, we 50 million. If we listen to Marcel, and even if we give ourselves a more generous count, let's say we 80 million. What's 80 million to over 1 billion? If y'all really wanted unity, y'all could do it all by yourselves without us. But you can't do it without us, because we have defined what Pan-Africanism really is when we're talking about bringing people together, regardless of regional, tribal, and ethnic differences, because that's the story of the Black American ethnic group. We are an amalgamation of different ethnic groups and tribes from different continents, and we brought that all together, called it Black American, became Black and I'm Proud in the 70s, and now we foundational Black American. That's the story of our ethnic group, and that's the essence of what Pan-Africanism is supposed to be. But it never reached that, definitely not on the continent.
Word.
Can I add on that?
Sure, go ahead.
So one, when you were talking about your name and where it came from, right? I wanted to share where my name came from. So my name came because I lived in California. I finished high school in California and I came back to New York. And everybody called me Brooklyn. Everywhere I went, because I had my Timbs on in Cali. I had my, my uptowns in Cali. You know what I mean? I had my big jacket, my big Columbia in Cali. So everybody would call me Brooklyn. And then I did research and I found out, it was named for a Dutch city. So I just flipped the spelling.
Yep.
And at the time I was very, very thin, thinner than I am now. So I changed the N to lean, L-E-E-N, instead of E-L-E-N. Right. And then that's how the name. So I also it's myself. It's just, that's what people label, because I was representing it all day. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
In dress and mind, and then on the Pan-African tip, it's so funny because it's not that so these earrings, I make these. They're also for sale on my website. But the point is, right, these FBA United States earrings, right? Before I made these, I made Africa, the continent of Africa earrings. And they're the same, made from the same material with gold in it and everything. And I made them all different colors. I really rocked it. And truth be told, I was cool with this African girl, and I gave her a pair and she never wore them.
Wow.
Because she does not identify with the continent. She identifies with her country. So it's funny that I was the only one wearing the Afrocentric things. I was the only one wearing the cowrie shells and the continent of Africa on my earrings. And my friend, who actually is African, wore none of that. And in fact, when I thought I was like sharing, like trying to like, oh, don't you want these African earrings, right? Or aren't you going to see the value in them like I do? She was like, oh, thanks.
She said, I can't get jiggy with this shit.
I can get word. I can get jiggy with this. Oh yeah. So I was looking at some pictures and I was like, yo, I didn't even notice the earring change. Like I really had to change my whole business model as far as the earrings were concerned, because I no longer I couldn't take it. I had a really beautiful ring I had designed with those brothers, right? Those brothers jewelry. I still love them. They still make good jewelry, right? And I had this Africa ring designed and made with them, made out of gold. Like, I was committed. Gold earrings, made little tiny African gold earrings, like all these things that I had made, because that is, what I thought I identified. And then it's like, once I started hearing people say things like, we came on planes and you came on trains, you came in chains. Once I saw how they treated Beyonce when she did her, when she was trying to do her Ode to Africa time, the way they treated her and told her that she was culturally appropriating, I knew at that moment that, like I didn't want to, like, if you looking at me as culturally appropriating, I got my own stuff I could wear. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think that you let white folks wear it and you don't say nothing. But when I do it, you're going to tell me I'm culturally appropriate. Honey, you could take all this shit. Okay? And so after that, I knew I had to come up with a whole new design, an earring and everything. And I worked really, really hard to get this shape. Y'all don't even know what I had to go through to get this size, this shape of United States, because everything was too big. Florida was falling off. Yo, it was a time. But I made it work because I no longer identify. And Africa was easy. Just so you know, doing Africa was easy. This was hard. And so I also, had to change just the way I looked at things, and I was doing things my way, but I had to flip it to the American way, because that's who I am. And so, and one more thing I just wanted to say is the work that I've said this before. I said this at the parade with the when we were interviewing that lady. Y'all did the work of teaching so well that I can say with my full chest, we're not teaching nobody shit no more.
That part.
The time for lessons is over. If you don't know by now, you will never know. And we ain't got time. We ain't got time. It is go time right now. It's war time right now. The time for education was back when y'all was doing it. It is over. We are it's fight time. So either you with us or you're not. And if you're not, you in my way.
I know that's right.
Hold that.
I know that's right.
Look, Sister Keisha, I'm like Sister Ruba because she ready to tell people where my name come from. So, like, I'm not.
Don't let it out the bag, sis. Don't let it out the bag. Don't let it out the bag. Don't do that to the bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, all they got to do is find it somewhere. I've shared it somewhere a time or two. Where the name tag.
I remember.
That's what you remember, Sister Brooke.
Yes, I do. I pay attention.
All right. No, but y'all were going to talk about the genealogy test. Me and Doug, shout out to Doggy Diamonds. Me and Doggy was
Yeah.
having a conversation about this recently because one of our first cousins, believe in that stuff. And she was trying to say, yeah, grandma got Nigerian blood. My grandmother just sat there, turked up her mouth and rolled her eyes. I said, well, Ife, let me ask you, how does she got Nigerian blood if we know Mars a Native American? How? She said, I don't know, but they said grandma got Nigerian blood. Like, my grandma, boy, you must have, I don't know, my cousin must have wanted to piss her off. Like saying that. My grandma don't play that, you know. But so with that, talk about the DNA test for the genealogy, you know, and the little implications of why they're not trustworthy.
We gonna go ahead, Sister Brooke. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Before you do though, it's a funny story. When I was in I think my first year in college, I think it was. And anyway, I was talking to my mother, and my uncle Jesse is in the chat. He'll tell you my mother kept a gangster, 100%. My mother from the block. But anyway, I said, Ma, you know we Africans. She said, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. That's exactly what she said. But go ahead, Sister Brooke.
I was just gonna say, before I knew anything scientific when it came to the genealogy, I just have a weird brain. And I was like, you mean you want me to pay the people who stole me? Because at that time I was unaware that we were sold willingly. But so I said, I'm gonna pay the person who stole me to tell me where they stole me from? No. Like, think about that for a second. Whatever they're doing with your DNA, you are paying them to do it. Yo, like that's the craziest thing to me. Like, and I don't know how far you want me to go right now because we're just touching on the beginning. But when with the companies have been sold, I was talking about this so long ago. And because it just didn't make sense. None of it made sense. And to see now what I saw then is crazy. It's mind-blowing to me because now the companies have been sold. They selling the DNA from one person to one person. You don't have no control over who they selling your DNA to because not only did you not only did you pay to give your DNA, but you signed over the rights to your DNA. They own it. You know that?
You know what? My cousin, I ain't gonna tell her name, but my cousin took one of them tests, and she reached out to me. She said, "This is our family breakdown." I said, "What?" But then she said, "What happened to the Native American part? We was told it was American Indians. What happened?" I said, "Girl." Anyway, when what you said, when all of those bombs got dropped about those companies like 23andMe and others, I sent it to her. I said, "Remember, you still American Indian, like you was told by your mama when you were younger." Go ahead, Sister Brooke.
And honestly, truth be told, I think that's what the test was designed to do. To throw us off the scent of who we really are. It didn't make no sense to me. Look, I again, as I always let people know, full disclosure, I grew up in East Flatbush. All my friends are Caribbean, right? And I know from them, when you talk to them about who comes from where, this uncle moved from that island, got a job, and that uncle lives over here. This uncle lives over there. The mama actually came from here. The father actually came from there. You can't do a DNA to untangle them. How you you gonna untangle me from 400 years ago? Get the yo. I just need people to sometimes have just a little bit of common sense. Understand that white tea folks are so backwards when it comes to medicine. I tell this joke all the time. Back in the day, like there was some, a member of the royal family. She was like a princess or something. She starts throwing up, you know what I mean? And they don't know what's wrong with her. They bled her, and then they gave her sheep's blood. You know what was wrong? She was pregnant. These people don't know nothing about medicine. They never did. And everything they learned a lot of it when they came over here from us. You can't, so you think the same people who have been who stole you would now tell you where they stole you from? It just doesn't make sense. And so, I was just talking about it years, like, what is it, 2018? That was after the nail shop, that was one of the first videos I ever did.
We're going to play that video too. We're going to play that video.
Earrings on in there.
We're going to play that video right after this. I think Doggy Diamond sent me this video. We're going to play this real quick, and then your video, and we come right back. Hold on.
5 things you didn't know about DNA tests and Black Americans. First, leaked internal documents from major testing companies reveal they actively suppress Native American markers in Black customers' results. These companies use special algorithms designed to inflate African percentages while hiding indigenous ancestry. Second, genetic counselors receive training manuals instructing them to dismiss Native American results in Black patients as database errors. They're told to redirect conversations back to African heritage, even when Native markers are clearly present. Third, the federal government provides financial incentives to DNA companies that maintain the African narrative. Companies receive subsidies for keeping Black Americans classified as primarily African descent. Fourth, pharmaceutical companies access the real genetic data showing Native ancestry for medical research. But
pause. Gotta stop. Did y'all hear that? Did you hear?
Yes, we did.
They in bed with the government, in bed with pharmaceutical companies. Y'all better go back to the Henrietta Lacks story. But, I digress. Let's keep playing this and we'll come right back.
But this same accurate information gets hidden from the actual customers who paid for testing. Fifth, over 80% of people labeled African American possess significant Native American ancestry.
What it said? What did it say?
80%.
Didn't we talk about reclassification? I think last week or the week before, we discussed that in depth. But let's keep going.
This massive cover-up prevents the largest indigenous population from reclaiming their true birthright and ancestral territories. There are 5 things.
Go ahead, Brooke.
Girl, I had not seen that video. Like, I'd seen the Dion Cole video. I saw that one, you know what I mean? I had not. And look what I said right before you hit play. I said, truth be told, I think they're doing it on purpose to throw us off the scent. Hold on. If y'all listen to Dr. Short, okay? Dr. Short hold on. Dr. Short submitted his DNA to the company. Do you know they refused to give him a test and send him his money back? He sent it in again. And they told him, if you send it in again, we're not going to give you your money back. We're going to keep your sample and your money, and we're not giving you a test. Now, if you've heard Dr. Short talk, Dr. Short has one of the most interesting lineages.
He does. He does.
From and I believe every word of it, because he does genealogy. This is what he does. So it's not just it's not just the Native American that they want to bury. I just want to let you know, because when you listen to Dr. Short, you understand. It's also which owners' lineages we belong to as well. Because that's Dr. Short. That's what they want to bury both with Dr. Short. The Dr. Short, the white line, they don't want us connecting to them bloodlines either. Do you understand, family? So when you're giving, you gave them the blueprint. They have already done the research on y'all because y'all gave it to them. The Mormon, they got all that they need. Whatever Henrietta Lax's they wanted to find, they found y'all.
Yep.
You gave it to, not only did you paid them to take it off your hands. You said, here's $49.95, $99 because it went up, $99.99. You gave them the money for them to do testing on you, and by extension, me too. I give them my blood, but we are related, and that's what they trying to hide.
They're evil geniuses. They always find a way to make you pay for what they want from you. You have to also read a book called Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. Phenomenal. A lot of times when we talk about our enslavement, we just think it was people in the cotton fields. It was also doctors as well performing experiments on us. What's the guy name? They took his statue down in Central Park.
Sims.
Yeah, Marion
Sims.
Dr. Marion J. Sims. Every black child he worked on transition.
Black woman. Black woman.
Yeah. Well, the women as well, that's why he came with the vice grips. I ain't never had to use them, but I read the book, and actually it's horrific to read, the things he did to our women in the name of science. So it makes the Tuskegee experiment look like a trick-or-treat night. Like the stuff that was done to the children, it was horrific. It was horrific. And one particular story I remember, and I'm gonna pass the mic, was always about the 4 little girls. We always hear about the 4 little girls church bombing. Now, in this book, they talked about the bombing and how, remember, this was the time before the civil rights bills were passed. So one of the young girls named Adam A. Collins was assumed to be buried in an all-black cemetery. And of course, once the civil rights bills was passed, everybody chose to bury their family in white cemeteries, so the black cemeteries was unkempt. Adam A. Collins' sister went to have her casket exhumed and placed in a better kept cemetery. They opened it and she was not in there. They did not know where her body was. At least this is what's in the book. And I say that because when we talk about grave robbers and grave diggers, this was the medical field. This is what was done to our people. So I don't know why folks would trust them, even when it came out to them giving those jabs. For those of us who was in the conspiracy theory world back in the 90s, talking about the New World Order and the Illuminati, we knew this thing was coming. And I'm going to tell you, Sister Keisha, family, this the part that got me. So many of our African-centered Pan-African folks took the jab. They believed the quote-unquote open enemy. And when I saw that, it was the nail in the coffin. You couldn't convince me that folks wasn't serious. I said, y'all really? Y'all did that.
While they trying to move you and your identity to the continent of Africa, everybody trying to be you. Everybody is desiring to be you. Here it is. Check it out.
Secretly want to be black. Anyone who grew up going to Korean church can tell you the kids who came straight from Korea, we call them FOBs, FOBs. They were fresh off the boat. Once they got a little better at English and they were starting to settle in, it's like, okay, they're SODs. They're still on the dock. And those of us who were born and raised in the US who suck at speaking Korean, they would call us bananas. We're yellow on the outside, but we're white on the inside. And the last term was actually rotten banana. Okay, so people who are yellow on the outside and black on the inside, I mean, that was us. And it sounds a little derogatory, but actually it's the most aspirational term of all of these. Almost every Korean kid, they'd be growing up in the suburb wearing big baggy jeans, gold chains, speaking Ebonics. We wanted to be black. But it's come on, man, who do you think you're fooling? Why do Korean men perm their hair? Why did I perm my hair? White men don't perm their hair. Who has curly hair? Black men have curly hair. I'm telling you, Korean men secretly want to be black. Korean.
We know.
Well, they trying to move you off the chessboard, and a lot of people following it with foolishness get caught up out here. But let's go to our sister Brooke. I think she did this in 2018? All right, she said
That was 2018. Because like I said, this was one of the first videos I did after the nail shop because I didn't know what to do next. But I knew this was crazy, and so this was one of the first ones I did after the nail shop.
So I have another melanin single for you guys. So everybody that knows me personally knows that even before I made this post back in 2017, November, that I never ever believed that they could take your DNA and tell you what country you're from in Africa. To me, that just didn't make any sense. You know why? Because I'm friends with a lot of people who aren't American black, right? So people from American black people usually stay in America. We don't really hop from country to country. We may hop from state to state, but not really country to country, right? But black people around the world move from country to country. I have friends that were born in Trinidad, and I'm just making something up right now, and let's say their parents were born in St. Vincent, and then but their grandmother was born in Barbados. You know, you can't take their DNA and tell them what island they're from. How can you take my DNA from 2018 and tell me where my great grandmother from? That doesn't make any sense. So I just don't understand. So y'all gonna let the people that stole you to collect $60 from you to lie to you, to give you lies? Not me. But okay, I just never believed that could be possible. And then I saw a video of Louis Gates admitting that it is a crock of something that I already knew. You know what I do know? I know about Henrietta Lacks. And I know that they want our DNA. So now all the people that have done it, you have given over your DNA to them. And now they just released something where they're going to release that information to another pharmaceutical company. But you know what else I don't hear people talking about? They now have your blood type. So now they know who has the blood type of the organs that they might want to get from you. I forgot I said that. Just a thought. My melanin thing. Make any sense?
Like 75,000 people or something, and she announced that she just had the test and that she was Zulu. So it broke on CNN. I was sitting in my living room minding my own business and said, Oprah Winfrey's a Zulu. So I called Rick Kittles, and I said, Rick, did you tell Oprah she was a Zulu? He goes, no, man, she made that up herself. It's a true story. I would lie to make you laugh, but I'm telling you a true story. So I said, Rick, are you in your lab? He said, yeah. I said, is anybody there? He said, no. I said, when the results come in, make her Zulu, man. I said, you back there making it up anyway. Nobody believe you could take some spit and figure out a tribe? What are you, crazy? Like 75.
This business of genetic genealogy is fraught with limitations. For one thing, it can only provide information about a tiny fraction of our ancestry. Because we get half our DNA from our mothers and half from our fathers, almost all of our DNA gets shuffled and remixed every generation, making it impossible to trace what comes from whom.
So you've got 2 parents, you have 4 grandparents, you have 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, and it adds up fast. It adds up so fast, in fact, that if you go back 20 generations, you've got over 1 million grandparents.
1,048,576 to be exact. And in each generation, DNA testing can provide information about only 2 of them.
We don't oversell. I mean, we just say, look, we provide a service. If you're interested in exploring a tiny bit of your DNA and trace its ancestry, we can do that.
When you say it's a tiny little amount,
It's less than 0.1%.
this
Prepared for him, he'll be safe.
What do you mean selected?
Your son's exceptional genetic makeup makes him a prime candidate.
Prime candidate to do what?
Survive.
How do you know my genetic makeup?
You submitted your DNA to an Ancestry website.
What did you say, nigga?
I just had to play that. You know, you forgot what you said. But that recent video confirmed what you said back in September of 2018. You see? Crazy. Crazy, but real. You know, like I told you, an awakening has been happening for quite some time. And people can see the BS for what it is. An African ancestry test is the most expensive of all of them. Check that T. Brother Devon, your thoughts on this DNA testing?
So Sister Brooke and I, we've had parts of that conversation before. She told me about that video that Henry Skip the Truth Gates talked about when he was like, hey, make Oprah a Zulu. And you know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? You know, she said this to me before, but it hits very, very differently to just see it and hear it, like live, not live, obviously, but just in living video, to just kind of see the farce of it all, right? And one of the things that is so prevalent, Brother Tad just said about how members in the Pan African community, you know, took that jab despite the history and the quote unquote, I guess, Pan African knowledge itself. And there are some in the contemporary reparations movement as well, that while they are sitting around detailing the harms that we are fighting for, with full knowledge of a medical part, you know, the book, The Medical Apartheid, and the Tuskegee experiments, and the J. Marion Sims, also took the jab and promoted it while fighting for reparations. And so there's a level of hypocrisy that permeates all of these various communities, right? And it's only a small few, right? It's a small group that will stand on business regardless of what's going on around you, despite all the temptations and pressures that come your way. And I'm saying that too because the DNA tests is something that a number of the contemporary reparationists in this space also will sit there and swear by and attempt to use to say this tells the story or this can help dictate who is owed what. And lastly, I want to say about this specifically is that in the beginning, when we were talking about lineage-based reparations, the Pan-Africans, specifically Jam Ayuwar, because she wrote the piece, lied and tried to spread misinformation about, oh, lineage-based reparations would be requiring people to take DNA tests because that's how you would determine lineage. And that was a lie. But let me say this. When you have a bill that's sitting on the table that has created a commission, and you talk about, oh, this is for people of African descent, how do you determine of African descent and how much African descent you need to qualify if you're not talking about DNA tests? And I'll leave it there.
It's real. It's real. And, you know, I'm glad y'all had the foresight. Shout out to the U.S. Freedmen's Project. You know, you gotta, and that's one thing too about Pan-African organizations that pisses me off. They don't know how to pass the baton, number one. Number two, they are, I said it before, antiquated in their approach on everything. Every freaking thing. You know, this whole FBA renaissance was ushered in by Gen X and carried forward by millennials. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. And I have no problem at all with my younger brother and sister doing their goddamn thing. I'm going to hold up the back. They got it. Let them rock. Let them rock. They got it. But we're going to continue. We're going to continue because we got to deal with it. Hold on.
The geneticist tells you about, watch as a geneticist tells you about so-called African DNA tests.
You just get the what's called a SNP test from 23andMe. They will give you an estimate of your ethnic background. Well, you know, when I found out that I have a bit of French in there, that's kind of cool, right? That's interesting. But is that real? And that's where we're not really sure. But when we start looking at people with African ancestry, Asian ancestry, and so on, the data is not quite as reliable because the numbers just aren't there.
You see that? My man said the data is not even there. For instance, how can they trace you back to Ghana when Ghana just got its name in the 1950s? You have great-grandparents that are older than that. Make that make sense.
You know, but you can still have people today with antiquated information, and they will hold on to that bullshit.
Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I'm about to blow your mind by showing you how your DNA gives us clues about who your ancestors were and where they lived. But first, I have to drop a very important bomb on you. You might want to sit down. Ready? Here it is. No one is or ever was 100% anything. You might have a grandfather who lived in Ireland, but he was not 100% Irish. He had ancestors before him, and they weren't all from Ireland. Humans have moved around a lot throughout the course of history. You could be Jewish as far back as your family knows, but you're still bound to have some non-Jewish DNA from some ancestors. You could have a French last name and only be 15% French. Because here's the thing most people who take a DNA test don't understand. Genetics is not the same as genealogy. Your DNA doesn't care about modern country borders or last names. Remember these little guys? Let's pretend for a second that your dad is half Nigerian, half Italian. And let's pretend your mother is half Russian, half Vietnamese. If you assume that means your ancestry breakdown would look like this, I understand where you're coming from, but it's very unlikely. Here's what actually happens. Remember when I showed you how you get 23 chromosomes from each of your parents? When this happens, you need to remember that you only get half of your dad's DNA and half of your mum's DNA. Which half you get is totally random. If we go back to the example of your pretend Nigerian, Italian, Russian, Vietnamese parents, even if your dad is 50-50, you could still get this much Nigerian DNA and this much Italian DNA. Same thing with your mum's Russian, Vietnamese side. So your ancestry breakdown actually ends up looking like this. This is also why siblings almost always have slightly different ancestry results, because they inherit different segments of DNA and possibly different percentage of ancestries. Just imagine this happening generation after generation. Random percentages of ancestries being passed down from parents to children throughout all the histories of human migration, just based on the random recombination of DNA and how the cookies crumbled. Today I explained how these reports work in general. Next time you'll find out how it works at CRI Genetics specifically. I think that's enough for today.
And that's true. Like, all right, let's take Marie, who's in the chat, right? Of all of her siblings, and there were a lot, but of all of her siblings, they're all fair-skinned, a little bit lighter than Tad. But Aunt Marie and I have the same complexion. My grandfather was dark-skinned, but as I showed y'all, I think last week or the week before, a picture of my grandmother, very fair-skinned. Come from the same mother and father, and I know that y'all seen that in your families, right? Some may look like the father, some may look like the mother. You see? And so for all of you out there in the world who's saying, oh, genealogy ain't where it's at, you're a goddamn liar. You're a goddamn liar. And science tells me you're a goddamn liar. Brother Tad, your thoughts on what we saw?
I knew it. Like, because to the point you just made, you know, you got light-skinned people in the family, you got dark-skinned people in the family. That's why I never practiced colorism, because everybody in my family come in all these different shades, from high yellow like doggy to jet black like my other cousins. Like, you know, and all of our parents are siblings. Same mom and dad, just different complexions. That's it. So a lot of that stuff I never really jived with, because I like to operate in common sense. You know, and in this paradigm we in of westernized thinking and philosophy and their ideas of what is real and what isn't, doesn't work with me.
It don't.
20 years ago, we were not calling men women, nor were we forced to. Now, look where we at. We have to address men as women. How insane is that? So they can't tell me nothing.
It's crazy, because like even my daughter, right? Y'all see my complexion. My daughter's father is Tad's complexion, and my daughter is Tad's complexion. However, my grandson is dark-skinned and look just like me. You see? My daughter looks like my father. It's crazy. It's crazy how that worked. But, you know, science will prove it right every time. But y'all can go play these stupid-ass games if you want to. I'm not with the shits. And so that's why this lineage is so important. That's why this renaissance is so important. Because not only has an awakening happening, but a realness has happened, right? And I put in the chat, because I want y'all to remember the calls of action. As we fight for our direct ancestors, what was owed them. And I think a few shows back, I showed a picture of my 4th great-grandparent. One of them was free and purchased the freedom for the other one. You see? So it's very important that we deal with this call of action. So I'm going to let Sister Brooke break it down so we can get these emails sent ASAP. Guys, Sister Brooke.
Okay. All right. So at the top of the page there, that's just the U.S. Freedmen Project's information. So you could go directly to their website and contact them if you want to when you go down. So the first call to action, right, that's the U.S. Freedmen Project. So the first call to action, you're going to send an email to the New York legislators to support a constitutionally sound bill. Currently, the task force is founded on a bill that is unconstitutional. And so this is going to send a letter. If you would like to read the bills, I have the links. All you have to do is, hover over it, and the link to the bills are there so you can read them for yourself. Full transparency. Okay. So when you click that link, it takes less than 30 seconds and you'll be sending an email to hundreds of senators and assembly people. And then the next thing, call to action we have is for disaggregation delineation. Okay. So we want our numbers to count so we can find out how many of us it really is in New York. And so this is for that. Our champion, Nikki Lucas, is the sponsor of this bill. And we need to pick up more sponsors. So other sponsors who President Divine reminded me last night that a lot of these people have already signed bills into laws for other groups to disaggregate. The MENA group was the Muslim community who were considered white, but decided that after white folks turned on them after 9/11 that they wanted to be their own ethnic group. So then they decided to delineate from whiteness. Has that ever happened before? That's very interesting. But anyway. So then and then we have the AAPI community. So those people have, sent who have agreed with that. So you can read the bill. The link to that is there, but you're going to be sending emails to the Black Task Force. You're going to send emails to them, less than 30 seconds. Then you're going to send an email to all those legislators that I just talked about, plus some, because we need some to sponsor and co-sponsor this bill, okay? And then you're going to send an email to Viola Swamp. I don't know if you was a kid. I don't know if this book was big outside of New York City, but it was this book called Miss Nelson is Missing. And I swear Kathy Hochul looks like by Viola Swamp. Anyway, so you're going to be sending an email to our governor, Kathy Hochul. That's her real name. And then, so this is my own personal request. The next one, which is number 5. I said in my last my last testimony at the hearing that they should study how immigration hurt FBA. And I'm talking about all immigration, starting from the Italians, the Irish, the Germans, everybody. We want them to study how immigration as a whole in its entirety hurt foundational Black Americans. And so you would do this by clicking that link there, and you'll be sending an email to the commission asking them to do that so they can pay our brother Andrew Barnes to do that presentation because he is an expert. And next, we would like you guys to just, understand that, Sister Keisha talks about this all the time. It is very important that you not only cease voting, but that you remove yourself from the Democratic Party. Okay. We want the Democratic Party numbers to be 0 for them to have no members. And so you do that by clicking the link here. That also takes less than 30 seconds. And those are all of our call to actions right now. The most important things are the emails. I told you guys my goal is 50 million. Our goal is to get the Democratic Party at 0, and our goal is to get Andrew Barnes to give a presentation. I mean, it's going on till January 2027. We could get at least one of them presentations, okay? And so that's it.
Thank you for that, sis. And again, I'll put the link in the chat yet again. And it's in the description of our show. In fact, it's always in the description, so you guys can get it at any time. And if not, you can always shoot us a message on social media platforms and we will get it over to you right away. But like she said, each email takes about 30 seconds. And we would surely appreciate if you would send those out. But just a reminder to what former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan said in 1994. Let's play this and we'll come right back.
We strongly denounce the hostility which seems to be developing around immigrants. That is not healthy. We cannot sustain ourselves as a nation if we condone divisiveness in this society of immigrants. At the same time, we disagree with those who label our efforts to control immigration as anti-immigrant. I believe quite firmly that we can quiet and dampen the flames which are surrounding public opinion where immigration is concerned, because people on both sides of this issue have engaged in too much hyperbole. We have got to put the matter of immigration back on a civil course. We have got to know that immigration really goes to the heart of who we are as a nation. If we are confident enough as Americans in our culture, we should welcome the legal immigrant. We should be able to accommodate diversity in our society. Are we strong enough to welcome those who ought to be in and retain a commitment to the rule of law by keeping those out who shouldn't get in? If we are to preserve our immigration tradition and our ability to say yes to the people who want to get in and seek entry, we've got to have the strength to say no to the people who are not supposed to get in. We need to make deportation a part of a credible immigration policy. As a nation committed to immigrants and the rule of law, we've got to do that balancing act. The most urgent immigration problem we face today is the unauthorized entry of hundreds of thousands of illegals. That undermines our commitment to legal immigration. Although the illegal alien may be generally law-abiding, and particularly in good economic times, maybe we need the illegals, their entry in violation of the law is a violation of our national interest. We believe a credible approach to immigration must be comprehensive. First, border management. We support a very simple view about border management: prevent illegal entries, facilitate legal ones. The second part of our strategy: work site enforcement. Employment, we believe, continues to be the principal magnet for illegal aliens coming into the country. As long as U.S. businesses benefit from illegals on their workforce, they are not going to try to help us get on top of the problem. We believe that employer sanctions must be made to work, and enhanced labor standards enforcement essential components of a strategy to reduce the job magnet. The third part of our recommendations, immigrant eligibility for public benefits, that's a major one. The Commission believes that decisions about eligibility should support the objectives of immigration policy. Using these objectives as a measure of benefit policy, we come to the following conclusions. First, legal permanent residents should continue to be eligible for needs-tested assistance programs. Our views on eligibility for benefits of illegal aliens are different from those benefits that are recommended for legal aliens. If an alien is in this country lawfully, he should receive whatever benefits a lawful resident receives. But if a person is here unlawfully, he should be entitled to no benefits. No benefits. Why the distinction between the eligibility of legal aliens and illegals? Illegal aliens don't have the right to be here. They broke the law to get here. They never intended to become a part of our social community, and they are not entitled to benefits. They have no intention to integrate.
On Black History Month.
You know, I have problems even with the legal immigration. Because, yes, Sister Farnessa, that's done. Birthright citizenship. But I have problems with the legal immigration. Because when you go to other countries, let's take Australia for one. Just to visit, you have to prove that you have money to stay there. You have to prove that you have a business or a job to go back to, right? You have to prove to them that you are not there for nefarious purposes. They have a right to confiscate your cell phone when you come off your flight, just to go through it to make sure you're not coming there to look for no job. You're not coming there for no 90-day fiance BS, and so on and so forth. The reason why I say I have a problem with legal immigration is because when you come into a nation, you gain access, legally that is, you gain access to all the things that citizens already have access to. And that becomes a problem. It becomes like Hunger Games, if you will. And that's what we're seeing right now. When you look at these construction sites, all of these folks who don't speak a lick of English is on these construction sites getting this bread. Like she said, these employers need to be prosecuted who employ these illegals and legal immigrants. Because in Chicago, and I mentioned this before, there was a case filed by Black Americans who sought employment through an employment agency that was managed by Latinos. And they gave no Blacks no jobs.
I know that. They always
when
like
we
that.
pull up at these reparations commission meetings or hearings, immigrants is always there giving lip service when you have no business doing that, because you cannot find any of us regular folk who go to your country and interject ourselves into CARICOM. Whether you agree with a CARICOM or not has nothing to do with it. We don't interject ourselves to take anything from you. We don't come and give a say-so. There is no flag waving when we come over there. You don't see us in parades wherever these countries come from. We just don't do it. But bless you. But with this renaissance, that is, we are now, well, we have Brooke, Tad, Devon. We've seen a lot of the verbiage of disdain for us by other groups, right? Consistently. Let's play this one and we'll come right back, because I don't see people who say they're on code with us fight this stuff. You get one or two or three who may say something, but there is not an onslaught of people from the diaspora speaking out against this, and it damn sure don't come from the Pan-African community. I want y'all to hear what this African dude is saying to this brother. Hold on.
Yeah, crack is whack. That crack fucked y'all up so bad. You see, your DNA is even fucked up. It's even fighting yourself. Your own DNA is fighting you. That's how whack crack is. Because in the 90s, people like you sold that shit in the community. You from the projects. We know that your shirt even rampant. You don't even have an iron. So even take care of yourself to come online, to talk to people. You eat dirty GMO food. Your food is not even nutritious. Shut your fucking mouth, dirty ghetto bitch. Your food is not nutritious. You are sick. You have inflammation. Look it. You can see it in your face. It's discoloring. Your face, there is some bright spots and dark spots. That means you have inflammation. You're sick. So when you're sick, go to the doctor. Don't come online and poison other people with your sickness. We can tell that you're from the bottom of the barrel when it comes to black people. We know that you're from the ghetto. The projects, you're not the good ones. People like you don't do shit. You just mad because less than 1% of the population, African people, came here and they whoop your ass. You want to see my fucking backyard? It can buy you. If you was that's why you got sold, because some of you came from the prisoner class. You was a fucking prisoner in Africa when you got caught and sold. That's why you still go to jail here. People like you. That's why you end up in the fucking projects. That's why your own government feeds you rotten GMO food. That's why you have inflammation. Travel to other countries so you can see what it's like. Oops, but you can't travel. You on food stamp, so you won't know that you have inflammation. Food stamp can't give you no passport, ain't it? You don't gotta hate yourself. Do you hate black men when you go outside? Do you want to put up a pew-pew and pew-pew other black people? Because I know this much hate can't just be for African, boy. You hate the same people on your block next door over, ain't it? Shut your fucking ghetto ass mouth out. Huh?
Sorry for the language, but this is a constant on TikTok and X. It is a constant. I'm not talking 1, 2, 10, or 100. We talking thousands. I can pull up 1,000 videos. Where y'all at on this? You keep your goddamn mouths closed on this. Even when it came to the hurricane in Jamaica, right? The vitriol and disrespect thrown at Black Americans over an incident that happened at a resort during the hurricane that they thought was us, but it was a Bermudan chick. Go ahead, Brooke, because I see Brooke getting hot.
Yeah, remember what I said? Be careful of the karma, because it hadn't been 3 days yet. Sister Keisha, I've been sending you video after video after video of what? Jamaicans looting stores. Why? Because they're hungry now. A few days has passed. No help has arrived yet. At least not where they are. They're hungry now. So what do you do when you're starving? When you see your children starving? When you see your mother starving? You go look for food at the abandoned store. You rummage through to see if there's anything you can salvage to feed your family. But guess what? You're looting. So when I said, be careful of the karma, There it is.
Pussy clad.
Fuck. Watch it. That's for them, those loot, you know.
After Hurricane Melissa, Jamaicans spotted looting shipments from Knutsford Express Company. The devastation of Hurricane Melissa in October 2025. Jamaican residents relied on familiar routines and resilience to cope with the Category 5 storm. For many, the experience was a mix of serious emergency preparation and a determination not to let the disaster stop life. Concerns are being raised that Jamaica's recovery from Hurricane Melissa could be hindered by criminal activity, targeting local companies.
Fuck. Watch it. That's for them, those loot, you know. Yeah.
Let us know what's your thoughts in the comment section.
And I know that bus company too. I think y'all in our chat that I travel with that bus company all throughout the island. Yeah. But remember last week when I showed the comments at the beginning of their storm and they were saying, well, at least it's not loot like Hurricane Katrina. The fuck is this then? What's this right here?
Give it time. All we had to do was give it time for them to have to eat their own words. And see, that's the thing. Y'all ain't tired yet. Them words must taste like curry chicken. That's my favorite thing. I love a good curry chicken.
Yeah, man.
That must taste like curry chicken and white rice, swimming in gravy. Okay? Because y'all keep speaking them. And y'all keep having to eat them. And we're gonna make you eat it we're gonna make you eat it. Real talk, let's be honest. I don't even have to make you eat it. Life gonna make you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting on my couch. I ain't did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't conjure nothing. I ain't do no rain dance or voodoo dance. I ain't had to do nothing. I sat right here on this couch and waited for you to eat them words.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, can we talk about the other guy when he was talking about can we get on that? Yeah. The one who was talking about us being on crack and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I watched the documentary, right? Recently, right? And it was about, I don't remember what the name of the drug was, but I don't even remember which country it was in Africa, but I just remember that the people were so hooked on this drug, and the drug was like, it must have been some sort of like meth or trank or whatever, that stuff that make your limbs fall off. They are so hooked on this, right? Let me compose myself, because when people say stuff, it make you want to say stuff back. You know what I'm saying? So when you sit there and you talk about us being crackheads, they don't have crack houses. You know how back in the day it was crack houses? They got crack tents. Tents, cities, where all of them are on that stuff. They out there with one leg missing, still on that stuff. So when you sit there and you talk about what we went through in the 80s and what our folks were subject to when the white tea supremacists was flooding our communities with drugs. If you watch the documentary on Prime called Drugs Used as Weapons Against Us, you can see how they dosed people to get them hooked on drugs. Sometimes it wasn't even, that first hit wasn't even a choice of their own. That's how deep the government was involved. Look at people like Paul Robeson. How they dosed him with acid and then fried his brain. So they've been using drugs to stomp out our intellectual capabilities, our fighting back capabilities. And then once we saw through what they were doing, once enough people told us what they were doing, we were able to work our way out of that. And you know what the white tea supremacists did? They took that same pattern and dropped it over in your continent. So now it's happening to you in 2025 while you fix your mouth and talk about us. Now you're not even in a crack house. You in a crack tent.
Crack hut, then.
Shots
right.
fired.
Here in Sierra Leone, the cheap and highly addictive kush has ravaged communities and wreaked havoc. Up until now, what was actually in the drug remained largely unknown. Declared an epidemic by the president last year, a recent report has now identified the core chemical components of kush. The Global Initiative Against Transnational Organised Crime conducted the first known testing of the most common varieties of kush available in Sierra Leone and neighbouring West African countries. And they found that it either contains synthetic cannabinoids or nitazines, a drug that can be up to 25 times more potent than fentanyl. For years, kush's ingredients were shrouded in rumours, said to contain everything from rat poison even to human bones. Now, experts say knowing what's inside the drug means there can be better treatment for overdoses.
There were 8 years between kush first emerging in Sierra Leone and us having conclusive, publicly available evidence over what kush is. We cannot afford to have those delays again because those delays cost lives. One of the myths that the research debunked was the idea that kush was entirely made within West Africa. The active chemical ingredients in kush, the nitazines and the synthetic cannabinoids, we do not believe that there is manufacturing capacity within West Africa.
Tests revealed that the ingredients of kush are largely sourced from China, the UK and the Netherlands.
They knew daddy. China. You knew daddy. Going over there, beat the hell out your woman and get you turned out on drugs. But then talk about us. You fix your mouth. It's up for everybody, goddammit. We live in a technological world. You can't hide no more, mother effer. It's up for everybody. And I'm playing this clip of Tariq for Brother Tad.
Hold on, before you play that clip, can I just piggyback right on what you said?
Go in, brother.
Because first, let me go back to that tether that was talking about the drugs. Let us not forget that the CIA employed tethers from Jamaica to come into our communities. The shower posse to sell our people drugs and to peddle drugs for the U.S. government. Let's be clear on what we're talking about. And to just your direct point so we can get right to the clip. I always go back to this interview. Like I said, I know he's not a prophet, nothing like that, but I always go back to Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay. When he said this was going to be the year of exposure. And many things in that interview that he said that people doubted about himself, about things in his life, and just about industries at large have come to pass. And so when you say we have modern technology, we have the internet, we are the information age, you can't hide it anymore. Again, going back to one of the fatal flaws in Pan-Africanism is that everything that guy was saying in that video, even down to calling what I assume to be a foundational Black American a ghetto B, two things have happened over the course of my life and my experience with Pan-Africanism. Is that either Pan-Africans also believe those racist tropes about foundational Black Americans, and or they provide cover for the Afro-immigrants that feel that way about foundational Black Americans. Either way, they always make excuses for the things that they say and do to us and try to chastise and reprimand us when we clap back and defend our culture in our homeland. And so that is why there's a false equivalent that I correct every time I hear it. when we talk about how these Afro immigrants come over here and undermine us politically, because we're not talking about childhood names. We're talking about you coming here and undermining us politically. When you say, oh, well, you called us African booty scratcher, or you made fun of our mesh shirts, or when I had my blue suede shoes on trying to shoot a jump shot, you got at me. Let me tell you something. Even if all that is true, and most of it is, I ain't gonna hold you, most of it is true. That is not the equivalent. The equivalent would be foundational Black Americans moving to your homeland and getting in your politics and undermining your native populations in your homeland, the same homeland you fled to come here and undermine us. So stop with that false equivalent of name calling and us jonesing on your attire and how your mama and your daddy was dressing you when you got over here. That's not the equivalent. And yes, you got flamed because you deserved it. Because if we went over there dressed how we dress, you're going to make fun of the same stuff that we got on that y'all don't wear. That don't vibe with y'all culture and y'all norms. That's human nature. Let's get over it. The equivalent will be us going there to undermine you, and we don't do that.
Bye.
Man, I'm just telling you, this is just a precursor for next week. Cause we going in next week, guys. Go ahead.
Brother Divine, I definitely agree with the aesthetics of it all. That we may or may not have vibed on aesthetics, but you going into their island with your aesthetics, they would have been like, oh my God, he's so cool. He's so this, that, and the third. And you, Jones, and having jokes on him, they're just like, this is cool in my country. What are you talking about? I look great in my country. And you telling me my suede clocks ain't shit. How much I paid for those? So that's cute. And I love it because the thing is, at 18, you're not thinking of political aspirations. But I think that through the years, that stigma that was put on them became a crutch. If these are the same people that are politically inspired today, I have no idea. I never wanted to go into the realm of politics. I know I've been introduced to it, but I also felt that this wasn't my space. This is not the space that I belong into. But with the political aspire of folks, it's definitely a conversation of, who really are you? Because most of the time the children come in with their parents, so they don't really know anything. And again, I feel like there is a failure within America because I'm a different breed. I wanted to know stories. I want to know stories about everybody. I don't care where you come from. I fiend for the story. Tell me the story of your origin. Where did your people come from? Where did this happen? Where did this happen? And I feel so disconnected even within my own family because there are so many stories not being told. And when you sit with an elder who's willing to talk, it's a whole different conversation. But I get it. That you were Jones on the playground where you thought you were having fun. And now you became like, fuck those people. I want to make their life a living hell. And you shouldn't. And you can't. Because at the end of the day, you are in their territory. You need to learn their story. Because if that was happening, well, listen, in Jamaica, they let the Chinese people run their country. So a lot of these Caribbean islands, you have to question what's happening in those Caribbean islands because they allow people to lay waste to their country and then turn back around and say, oh, my mama used to live there. So that's another conversation for another day. But that's all I wanted to chime in on.
Can I just say one thing? I know I said I was going to be quiet, but she triggered me.
No, go off, brother, go off.
And not even going off. She just triggered me in a good way because this is what it's supposed to be. Because like she said, that was my experience, right? We didn't have many, Caribbeans that had vitriol when we was growing up, right? So we was getting on each other. That's what they said. Wait, hold on, you getting on me for these? Like, no, where I'm from, or in my culture, this is fly. Like, this is what it is. Like, so what's the issue? And we would laugh and joke about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still remember when the Clark song came out. You know what I'm saying? Will you get the new Clarks there, Daddy? Like, the Clarks was fire. You see what I'm saying? That was their joint. And that wasn't my joint, but we rocked out about that. And they bigged it up like it was something that was fly for them. And I respected that. Now, I still joked on them Clarks, but it was, they didn't care because that was still something that they valued, and they rocked it. Like, and I respected it. That's what it would look like, and that's what it was supposed to be. But I also, just to bring that point home though, what I also believe happened, and this is just my belief, it's not based on any statistics or data that I have. It's my belief, my experience. A lot of the more lighthearted interactions with the Afro-immigrant community as I was growing up is because their numbers wasn't at the levels that their numbers are at now.
Right.
So when you are not at the numbers where you can flex, you have to let some of the things that you would react vitriolically roll off your back. That's just smart. That's just strategy. If you're not really coming here to obtain true unity. And we've seen a lot of them are not coming here. I'm glad Sister Marcia said that. She is an anomaly. She is the last of a dying breed. You understand? And so we understand that there's still some cool people. I got some that I would call family, right? But we understand that that's not them in mass. Unfortunately, we would love it to be another way, but it's not. And so as soon as their numbers got up, they started flexing. As soon as their numbers got up, you started seeing train stations change to Little Haiti, to Little Caribbean.
Shout out to New Kirk Ave.
You know what I'm saying? Big up yourself.
Rogers. Don't forget Rogers.
And
Right.
so
they call it.
Yes, go ahead.
And they gentrifying the Haitians off Rogers too.
No, it's Rogers, and at that they call it the lowest
moving them
total,
off.
right? They call it Toussaint Louverture. When he ran to Master, he was like, "Master, please take me and my country back." And Dessalines told him, "Don't you go to those people." And where he died in a prison in Sans Souci. So let's we need to be real with our conversations. And unfortunately, I know my people don't want to be real with their conversation. And it's unfortunate because every time I challenge them to be real with their conversation, they're like, there's not a space for the realism. And I say, we must create the space. And this is what FBA is doing, creating the space for the realism, because it is what it is. And until we create that space, the colonizer, wherever he is, the imperialist, the capitalist system, they're going to do what they do because we don't want to create the space for true conversation. I didn't want to cut you off, Brother Divine.
You know I be long-winded sometimes, so I'll let the clip play.
No problem. But first, because we like the trolls. We like the trolls, and I'm gonna save that.
Now I'm laughing at the troll too, saying that it's not flying in these New York streets, but come on, we in New York. We on the Brooklyn Bridge, homie. We done pulled up in Flatbush with this energy.
And we in the street. You new to this.
Every day.
Comment too. This is the disrespect that we talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
FBA crap. Imagine us wherever he's from. I'm assuming he's Caribbean, probably from one of the Spanish-speaking islands, right? Because he got the Papacito, maybe he tethering to them too. It don't really matter. The bottom line is this. Like, imagine us saying, oh, this Jamaican crap, or this Haitian crap, or this Honduran crap. See, that's disrespect off the top. You see what I'm saying? Because it is already taken away our autonomy. Now, we know he's a troll, and we're not going to get too serious with it. But just for your elevation, just understand that this foundational Black American Renaissance is already all throughout these New York streets, and there ain't shit you can do about it. So I just want to make sure we address that directly and address you directly, Drippy.
My brother. And people get diarrhea of the fingers in social media spaces, but we outside for real. And you wouldn't say that to me in my face because I'm surrounded by men that will put you in the dirt. Go ahead, Sister Brooke.
And they all celebrating on that Mandami win, not knowing he not for y'all. It's gonna be we gonna be the only ones left in the streets. So keep it up, because the way they dig in to find any little reason to be like, oh nope, the citizenship is annulled. They not playing. So, and you think, and people, y'all think that the mayor is gonna stop Trump from sending ICE to his hometown? Do y'all forget Trump grew up? I live in Queens now, not far from me. Now, in Queens, he grew up in Jamaica Estates. You think Trump is gonna sit here and let you run shot all over New York City? He is not. And all you have done is made the block hotter, because he's going to turn up the heat. And when he does, it ain't none of my business.
That's it. And it's coming. It's coming.
And I'm sad about that for some people. You know what I mean? Because I don't know who's going to be involved and who's not. And I ain't asking no questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little nervous for the people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's none of my business.
And this is another one of my bros too, Leonard. So just so that you know, like I said, I'm surrounded by men who don't play no games at all. So don't get diarrhea of the fingers. Don't get yourself in no trouble. Take the lesson. Go back home and chill out. That's all. Don't be disrespectful, as my brother Devon said. Stick on your lineage and rock with it. Uncle Jesse said he got the popcorn. Brooke, he waiting. You know, he call him McMonkey.
Yeah. Because he swing from ideology to ideology to ideology. Like a monkey. He dances for bananas like a monkey.
Facts.
So I don't disagree with that. You know what I mean? I'm not one for calling people monkeys, but I can see the resemblance.
And just so that we know, when all the Jamaican people was talking reckless, when you wasn't doing the goddamn cleanup, we was there. I can't play the music because I don't want to get a strike. But you see, this dude from Jersey. You see? Where you was at, though? Where you was at? Nowhere to be found.
Skimming off the diary.
I gotta play this for my brother Tad. Talking about, can he get clean sheets? When you go over there, can he have some sheets without no sand in it? This is a true story. We was in Jamaica one time, in Kingston, at a hotel called Knutsford Court. Remember, y'all just saw about Knutsford Express? They was looting over there. But anyway, we had Knutsford Court Hotel, and we on the 3rd floor. My husband is standing on the balcony. He looks outside, and he's watching the people downstairs in the pool area. So he comes off the balcony. He puts his shoes on. He said, I'll be right back. Just like that. I said, what's wrong? Where you going? Nothing. I'll be right back. I said, I'm going with you. No, stay here. I'll be right back. So as he leaves the room, I go to the balcony so I can see which way he's going. He goes into the reception area. He comes out with this female who works at the hotel. She's one of the managers there. right? I know because we stayed there quite a few times. So she comes out with a bunch of towels. And I see my husband pointing to a little black girl, FBA girl, sitting on a lounge chair. She was playing in the pool. When my husband came back upstairs, I said, what happened? He said, no, I had to go tell her to take that girl a towel. Because I saw her come up and bring towels to the white kids who was playing out there. So I'm like, really? He said, yeah. And it pissed me the fuck off. Like a man, he went downstairs and handled business for that little FBA girl. Period. But I'll play this for Tad. And we'll come right back and we'll close out.
They'll act different towards black Americans than they do to the white tourists. When the white tourists show up, boy, they're skinning and grinning. Welcome to Jamaica, man. Oh, y'all throw that accent? Welcome. Out of many, we are one. Oh, when the white people show up, it's all tea. Now, when we go to the resorts, hey, brother, can I get an extra towel? Soap your mother. They give you the stank look. Damn, I just need an extra towel, brother. Okay, we're coming up soon. Then it take about 3 hours for them to bring up one wash rag. They do a little passive-aggressive shit with us. Come on, they've been doing that. Don't let them make you think this hurricane that made them think like that. See, a lot of these people over there, they're working at their resorts. They live in poverty. The people over there, they can't even access their own beaches over there. You can't go to your own beaches over there. But foundational black Americans, we can go to the beaches. We didn't have to bow down to no European powers either. We didn't have to sign no deals. So that triggers a lot of feelings of inadequacy and a lot of economic jealousy. This is why they always hollering about, we go down there entitled, oh, you're arrogant. Now, when white people go over there, they don't have to ask twice for nothing. That scene is just normal or professional. See, because in that colonial mindset, in that society, they're taught that white people have the right to demand excellence and good service. But black people should be passive and grateful. So when foundational black Americans show up, wanting things to be done right after we spend our money, oh, entitled arrogance. No, that's not entitlement or arrogance. We just want what we paid for. And we don't even ask for much. Just we want a clean room. When we go there, we want good service, clean room. We're giving you all this damn money. Give us some good service. Bumba, entitled arrogance.
Sis, that reminds me of and we got to get Sister Tam on here because we got this running joke. We go to this restaurant. It's a resort. It's on the beach. We all go there to eat. I order a burger and fries. That's it. Yo, it took forever for my food to come. Everybody then ate. I'm still waiting on my food. I told him cancel the order. No, I already put it in. Nah, I don't even want it no more. So he came, like, I'm on the beach. He comes, your burger is ready. It's like, I don't want that shit. You eat it. He's like, but I made it for you. I said, yo, I waited forever. He said, but I brought you bread to quench your thirst. You know, that's the funniest shit I've heard, right? So he goes get this other big Ghanaian dude. We in Ghana. And he's like, you don't want the food? I said, who the fuck you supposed to be? Yo, I put this on my mama. They didn't play. I'm like, yo, I'm from Brooklyn. I didn't tell them that, but y'all, we all from Brooklyn. Y'all know our Brooklyn energy. You don't give a fuck about how big you is. I'm gonna test your jaw. I'm gonna see if you strong as you think you are. And when he saw that I wasn't intimidated by that, I was like, what? He backed down. It was just funny though. It was just hilarious because the service was horrible. The place was nice. It's one of the few nice places. I think we were in Little Ada, but the service was horrible. The service was horrible. And as Tariq said, you know, they act like you're supposed to be grateful. I'm like, yo, my whole party tonight. You ever get so mad you don't even have an appetite no more? You don't even want to eat no more. Like, yo, fuck out of here. I don't want it now. And he said, I brought you bread to quench your thirst. That's what's funny. First of all, how does bread quench your thirst? Because he brought out, you know, when you wait for your food, they bring you the little bread. Like, yo, my dude, it's over. Everybody getting on boats and shit. We about to get on boats and ride around the lake and stuff. And here he come. Talk about, yeah. Sister Keisha just triggered me with that video.
Shout out to Sister Tam too. I hope we get you on next week, Tam. Because we gonna tell some stories next week. They'll talk about the continent, and I'll tell you some stories about Jamaica. But just to give you a precursor, you know, because as the guy was saying in that clip where he was calling us all kind of names, prostitutes and whores, and all kind of stuff. You know, let's talk about Rent a Rasta.
Never heard of that.
Oh.
Sex tourism, a product of slavery, is not new to the Caribbean. Every year, over 80,000 middle-aged women flock to Jamaica to get their groove back in search of the big bamboo. They are not necessarily into long-term relationships, but many return regularly to their island boy, who sport Rastafarian-style dreadlocks, bringing money and gifts like jewelry and designer sneakers, a practice called Rent-a-Rasta. But who are the real Rastafari, and how do they feel about being used to market everything Jamaican?
Get ready for next week and buckle up. I think I sent Tad and Sister Brooke, I think, a picture of a situation going down there. You see? So I've been there about 30 times. So I have a lot of stories. Okay? When we come back next week, it's up. Don't talk your shit and think we gonna let it rock. No, ma'am, and no, sir. Brother Divine, your final thoughts and commentary, and let's get the people up out of here.
Nah, Sister Keisha bringing out the island vibes. That video had my eyes bucking. I said, Lord Jesus. Not the Rent-a-Rasta. Oh my God, man! Listen, and this is the year, and it's an extension. I just want to listen. We've already told them. Y'all got me at a loss of words. It's up and it's stuck. Exposure is not just for 2025. It's for the rest of y'all natural lives, and you might get exposed in the afterlife. Like just let it know. Like there's no more secrets. There's no more hiding it. There's no more Pan-Africans giving you cover. There's no more allowing y'all to read your own press and believe the hype and really believe that y'all worked harder than us and we were just lazy, and that's why you achieved things in this country that Foundation Black Americans achieved 1,000 times over before you even got here. Like we're not doing that no more. So I want that to be known. I want that precedent to be set. That shit is over. Those days are dead and gone. Every little thing that you do, every place that you step out of place, we're going to put you back in place. Like, just know that off the top. So if you know that, then we can start really establishing this new set of rules of engagement for you. Because it's no more I was talking to Sister Brooke about this. I'm eventually clip it up. But I remember it was an episode of Jamie Foxx show. And it's when the West Side Connection came to the King's Tower. And Braxton, he didn't know who they was, and so he was questioning like, "Where's your ID at?" And Ice Cube went to go confront him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going." He's like, "Don't make me do my hot keto on you." And when Cube went to go step up, Jamie stopped him, and he was like, "Come on, dog, don't break him off. Don't break him off right now. Don't do it." And I tell that story because that scene is funny, but it's really how we have interacted with the diaspora here in America. Like we never wanted to punch down. We always had the opportunity to. Outside of the jokes, outside of jonesing on you, outside of snapping on you, outside of roasting you, we really could have KO'd you on many occasions with the disrespect that was coming out of your mouth for a really long time. But we was always like, no, don't do it. Let him rock. I know he said you late. We know what it is. Look where they came from. Look what he wearing. Look how he smell. Like we just let it live. Like we just. I'm being totally honest. We just let you live. But what happened is, as we let you live, not smelling the must, you started smelling yourself. And just in case you don't know what that means, when you smell yourself in foundational Black American culture, that means you're getting a little bit too big for your britches. And that's where y'all at, and that's where we got to meet you at right now. Because you've been too big for your britches for a really, really, really long time. And the shit is over. You had a good run. The honeymoon is over. And so this is where it's at. This is what it is. And so just to kind of put a bow on what we talked about earlier, I wore this shirt. I don't know if y'all can see it because the light is hitting it, but it says family over everything. And this is one of the shirts that my sister made for one of our last family reunions. And so it's going to always flabbergast me, right? I'm going to always be flabbergasted that the people groups, the melanated people groups, whose family lineages and genealogy is almost 100% oral traditions, could even fix their mouths orally, pause, to question one of the most documented ethnic groups the planet has ever seen. And then you try to shoot down some of our oral traditions when it ties us to the land and the country that our ancestors built. That's hypocrisy of the highest order. And I don't want to leave this space, leave this live show without making this proclamation, that this position known for the U.S. Freedom Project. Because around this idea and around this topic of DNA and genealogy and whether we are Aboriginal, Indigenous, totally African, or something else, I just want to make sure I get the U.S. Freedom Project's official position on this. Because you have ideologues and extremists on both sides, right? You got the group that'll say we're just native. We don't have any African DNA. They'll even go as far as saying they deny the slave trade. We are not that. Then you got the other side that'll say, no, we are 100% African. Nobody was here that was melanated, and we all just came from Africa. Nobody was here until we got here from Africa. That is also not position, because that's not true at all as well. I believe, and the U.S. Freedom Project believes, that everybody's genealogy will tell the story. Talk to your family. Do your genealogy and listen to your elders. Because when it comes to the U.S. Freedom Project and this remedial justice and reparations claim that we are fighting for, your individual genealogies do not matter. Because in this fight, like that video said, the percentages don't break down how you think they're going to break down. But you know what all of us that are owed reparations are? 100% FBA. So if you wanted to get percentages right, know that we are 100% foundational Black American, because all those amalgamations add up to us. And that foundational Black American ethnic group are the ones that forced this country to recognize our emancipation and give us the status of freedmen. And that is what we are using to get our just due and reparations that are owed. So again, I don't care what your admixture is. I don't care if it's more Native. I don't care if it's more African. I don't even care if it's more European. The bottom line is that if you had ancestors that was enslaved and emancipated in the United States of America, you are a part of our justice claim. You are 100% foundational Black American, and we're going to get those reparations using our freedman status. And I'm done.
Uh-oh. Sister Brooke, your final thoughts and commentary.
Well, as always, I have a couple of notes that I neglected to speak, but that was great, President Divine. That definition was needed because people keep trying to throw us in with other people, other funds, people who believe in ridiculous things like copper color tests. And as that genealogy showed you, can't no copper color test. The DNA can't even tell us who it is. So an AI programmed copper colored test can't tell us either. So let me get to my notes. The gentleman earlier, he said that we are all eating GMO foods. Well, your country is, especially Ghana, is signing up for GMO seeds. you don't even know what you're eating. And then a lot of your food is imported. You're sitting there, you could grow your own tomatoes, but you'd rather import tomatoes to make your jollof rice. So when you talk about GMO, you don't even know what you're eating. Okay? And don't let me get my Connie and Wani on. You're eating bush meat. Let me say it so. You're eating bush meat, baby. Okay? And then I just wanted to also bring up let me see, what was the other thing? Oh, he talked about us living in the projects. You can't even own land in Africa. Y'all can't own land. You get a lease. 100 years, 50 years, whatever. You can't own it. I saw the president, I can't remember which African country it was, but he told you, don't nobody own it because it's mine. So, and then you're sitting over there in a house that I just saw in Nigeria. It was a whole bunch of people. They paid all this money to live in these luxury houses. And you know what the Nigerian government did? Came over there with a bulldozer. No notice, no nothing. They standing outside in their night clothes. Okay? While the house is being bulldozed in front of them. You want to talk about the projects? Khalees just told us how your roads are. You want to talk about the projects? Khalees just told us how y'all don't even collect your trash. You want to talk about the projects? And that's in your regular housing. That's you want to talk about the projects? Y'all jappa to come live in our projects. Don't you? And to get on food stamps. Right? And drive Uber. Right? So you want to talk about our projects? Our projects is better. I don't have to say this because your behavior, your actions say it. That our projects, you would rather jappa to our projects than stay home. I also wanted to talk about the Clarks. Got to talk about the Clarks because the Jamaicans got the Clarks from us. By the time you and I and was around the Clarks, they were played out already. Certain people kept it alive, like Ghostface, Raekwon. But they were played out already. The Clarks was popular in the 70s. My older cousins was wearing Clarks. I wasn't born. Just thought about that. I wasn't even thought of when Clarks was popular. Okay, so just know, yeah, and then Staten Island they call them wallabies. It's just we call it something different. Y'all called it by
You
the
call them wallows here in Brooklyn too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old. I had wallows. My pops had wallows
Okay.
when I was a little dude. You right.
See, they always called it by the name on the box. We don't never call nothing by the name on the box. Never. We got a different name. So y'all called it Clark's because that's the name of the company. We called it everything else. Wallabies. I don't know what else. I don't know. I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But I follow people who talk about the history of our fashion. I have a wide range of interests who talk about the history of our fashion and what was popular. And that is how I learned that information. So even the Clarks you got from us. And then I just went to the last thing. It's so interesting to me that when all of these people are ranting and talking crazy about us, there's never a Pan-African in sight. Where y'all be at? Y'all be, as my little friend used to say, my friend Chloe, are you silent or have you been silenced? She's only 13, by the way. Why is it that whenever they are talking big, major junk about us, y'all are nowhere to be found? When people are poking the bear, and let me let you know, we are the bear. When people are poking the bear, y'all don't say, y'all better not mess with them. They ain't nothing to be messed with. They ain't nothing to fool with. None of that. Y'all are silent until we take our big claws and slap the wax out you, like my mother used to say, because she don't cuss. Then all of us, after I slap the wax out you, now here comes the Pan-Africans. Whoa, 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 whoa. But where you was at when they was sitting there talking about us, our DNA being affected by drugs? Did you hear what he said? Where was you at when he talked about the project? Where was you at? Where was you at when he talking about our food and how we are forced to eat? Where was you at? Nowhere. So let me tell you something. When I respond and I slap the wax out of them, go back to being silent. Put your mic on mute. Close your eyelids just like you did just a few seconds ago when they was talking great. Close your eyelids and close your ears and then close your mouth. And I end there.
Man, don't play with the Brooklyn Bridge. You gotta have a pass when you hit this bridge. Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and commentary.
You know, this is yet again another fabulous show in discussing the origins of DNA. And I know for one thing, especially since I sat with my aunt today and we were talking about where our peoples are from and who our peoples are, and just to talk about what we can understand as our great ancestors being Dutch, right? The white ones, as so to speak, and how because we're from Haiti, they always say, "Oh, everyone is France, everyone is French," and you sit there and you're like, "But how is everyone French and everyone is this?" And then you're from this country, and then to know that there were migrant workers in the Caribbeans and aunts and uncles who say that they lived over here, their baby daddies from over here, and they have children over there. So there is an amalgamation that's happening that is not discussed. And for my lineage being out of the Caribbean, I definitely know that I'm often challenged with my position in this global society and how it represents. But I also know that there are spaces and places that I belong in and spaces and places that I don't belong in. And so when I was introduced to be a major player in the politics of Southeast Queens, and I did do the electoral district, and then they wanted me to run for higher offices and stuff like that. But even with the electoral district, I even had problems there because I would ask the assembly person, well, when are we going to meet? And when are we going to discuss this? And when are we, you do as I'm told, and that's it. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this some type of, this is where I always go with No Child Left Behind, where you tell me what I'm doing, and that's all that I'm doing. And I felt such a visceral problem with her for that. And I didn't want to move forward because I understood that if there is a space that I'm in and I can't have great conversation with the people and or my constituents because someone is holding a lever over my head, then this is not a space for me. And it's so unfortunate that so many people look at, oh, I'm going to make $260,000 and I don't care if someone is telling me what to do because that's what I'm going to do. And if your bottom line is capitalism, then you will never be for your people, no matter where they are. And too many times, everyone's bottom line is about $1, and that dollar is going to send us all to hell. And I just want to be part of the crew that doesn't look at that dollar being part of my bottom line, because yes, I need $1 to make sure that my electricity stays on. Yes, I need $1 to make sure that my son's wheelchair is assembled and is working properly, but I don't want that bottom line dollar to be the reason why I do anything in life. And my reason is to do things because I believe that our people deserve more than what they've received throughout the years and the centuries of injustice that we have adopted. And now we 5 on this line, and now we 12 or 75 or 1 million later on that's going to listen, that we understand that the bottom line of $1 doesn't equal the livelihood that our people deserve. And with all of that said, I want us to make time flourish, fight with this BI, or may it flourish, so that we can live free and prosper with our people in the most righteous way. It's righteousness that's going to claim us. It's righteousness. I don't know what you all think, but I am all for the 7 values of my aunt. I am for the reciprocity. And I think one of the things that people here, FBAs have not been recognized for is the reciprocity. Everyone has come into this country and has done whatever they've done, whether good or bad, but never acknowledged the FBA for the toils and the struggle and the blood. And I'll always remember Fannie Lou Hamer says, the flag is drenched with the blood of my ancestors. And that I will always respect. With all of that said, have a great week, and I'll see y'all on the bridge next week. Brother Tad.
Thank you, Sister Marcia. Sister Brooke, you took me back down memory lane. I used to have all the flavor wallows, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s. Used to have, always had to have a pair to match the Coogee knitted. You know, the Coogee hat, Coogee sweater, crisp pair of wallows, had my Slick Rick starter kit. Yeah, I used to be outside heavy.
Right?
Yeah. That's why I was laughing at the troll talking about that don't fly here in New York. I'm like, well, born and raised and bred in New York. Brooklyn, to be specific, which I'm proud of, you know, proud FBA, born in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital, father born in Brooklyn, mother born in Harlem, family from the South, great grandmother from Halifax County, Virginia, other family members from North and South Carolina. Yeah, FBA like them all. So this is our platform and this is how we stand. And as FBA, many of us come from other movements where our only concern was to move Black folks forward. So we appreciate people like Sister Marcia, who, though they may not be FBA, do appreciate the efforts. And that's all we saying. The people we getting on, those are the tethers, those are the sellouts. those who don't applaud our efforts or even support our efforts, though we made it possible for people to come here and be prosperous. So no longer will we take any type of disrespect, whether it's in person, whether it's online, whether it's at the meetings. FBA, one thing we have in common is our propensity to fight, whether it's physical, cultural, spiritual, politically. We just fighters. We just natural born fighters. That's why people from the continent and the Caribbean come here when they want to, get their movements moving. They say, well, let's get some of these FBAs on board. Let's go to America and get the Black Americans down with us. Then we're gonna get some traction, because it ain't happening at home. So, family, we definitely appreciate all y'all for tapping in with us, especially the new people here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your fellow FBAs or even non-FBAs who may be in alignment with what our mission is, right? Don't forget to check me and my partner C Gut out every Sunday, 2 p.m. on the OG Wisdom Podcast. You can just go to the channel right now, like, subscribe, check out some old interviews. Sister Keisha is definitely featured on a lot of them. We got some dope joints going on over there. So hopefully you're inspired by something you heard here tonight. It's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
I'm thankful. Thankful that I have a mind that works. Thankful that I have a brain that is always funneled with information on a consistent basis. The majority of my day is spent reading so that no one can pull any wool over my eyes. We appreciate each and every one of you for rocking out with us right here on the Brooklyn Bridge. Tell somebody to tell somebody that it goes down every Thursday. You don't want to miss an episode. Next week, we going in. Hopefully Brother Divine and Sister Brooke will rock out with us. But we going in. It's up for y'all. And my sister Marcia, she may try to spank y'all with the hand. But I'm going to kick you in the chest. Because I'm from Brooklyn. As my brother Taz said, born in Kings County Hospital. Both of my great-grandmothers are buried right here in Brooklyn. Came in here in the early 1920s. One in the 1800s. Y'all gonna stop playing with us over here. Y'all gonna stop playing with our lineage. You're gonna stop playing with our legacy. Because look around. Look what happens when you go against us. We tried to give y'all a leg up. Let's go back to Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. In Kinshasa, Zaire, Democratic Republic of the Congo. They came there and tried to give y'all a light. Every Black celebrity from the Americas showed up that day. And what did you do with it? You squandered it. And you come over here and you disrespect their people. But our ancestors are on our side. So it's up for y'all. Either you're on code or you're in our way, like Sister Brooks said. And we kick people in the chest. Don't feel no type of way. I wear these boots heavy. The Timbs stay on right, and I will kick the shit out you. So don't bother me, and I won't bother you. But you will respect it. So y'all have a good week. We'll see you back next week. Tell somebody to tell somebody. This is where it goes down. Don't forget, send those damn emails. Send those emails. If you're rocking out, send those emails. Somebody put in the chat, I wish we could have a conversation without ego. Either you're a Pan-African nut or you ain't from here. Because this is our swag. This is how we move. This is the beat that everybody wants to vibe to. As I played in the middle of our program, even the Koreans want to be what we are. But you can fool yourself, and I don't talk with soft tissue. I kick in the chest. Y'all have a good week. We out, y'all.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voice is strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister K, Warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat. Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power media on a spree. Facebook, YouTube all aligned. Breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics. Every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true. For the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Social talk and politics. Every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true. For the many, not the few. Revolutionary